Just got inside of Fluf World. A lot going on right now already. This is right now, being honest, one of the most anticipated events of all of South by Southwest.
Let the beat drop.
Just wanted to get the cute bartenders with the bunny ears there. Couldn't cut it short. Fluf World episode number 14. I think it's 14 or 15. I don't know.
I think we're on 15.
15, yes.
Episode 15.
Yes. We are going to cram it in today, but before I forget, if you are following us, there's a good chance we're going to ramble a little bit. We've got some timestamps below in the actual comments. Feel free to jump down there and jump to the spots you want to be at. We have got a lot to cover here. Let's jump in. Fluf World, a metaverse as scary as it is exciting. These metaverses, this is a prime example, in my opinion, Ben, of why we do this channel. I don't know whether to just go in and buy in heavy on this, or get John Connor on the phone and let him know that SkyNet now has a metaverse and they're coming for us. There is some frightening stuff going on with this metaverse, frightening for people, for somebody that is lacking in knowledge. Maybe it's not that frightening, but it's because it's also very exciting. But it definitely has some themes of Terminator. But before we get into that, let's hear about the disclaimer and the news for this week, please.
All right. On our channel, anything we say is research that was done by us or viewed by us or, discerned by us. It does not constitute financial advice. Before you make any financial decisions, check with your financial team, because our investment strategy is not your investment strategy. With that being said, we're going to roll right into the news for this week, crypto news. We got a couple of exciting stories. OpenSea is doing what big companies do. They've got a little NFT marketplace that's doing a lot of really neat things called Gem. Well, rather than sticking around and competing with them, they just bought them out. So Gem will still be operating as a standalone, but it works now under the umbrella of OpenSea, which is great, because with OpenSea being decentralized, OpenSea is a great source. We love it. There's a lot of stuff that they are when you start to get big, you start to lose the edge a little bit. So by acquiring small market projects like Gem, it's going to keep them at the forefront. It's going to keep them growing and keep all the exciting technology in one spot. So you're not having to bounce around, every week to get your NFTs. So I thought that was pretty sweet. Another cool thing, Floyd Mayweather is selling $150,000 NFTs, and they're acting as tickets to his next fight. He's only selling 20 of them, and the fight is on top of the Burj Al Arab Hotel. It's like a rooftop fight, so there's not a lot of room for a lot of people. So he's selling very limited tickets, and their NFTs, which is awesome. I mean, there's no sneaking into an event like this anyway, with such a limited space. But with an NFT, you really start to realize how high level of security you can go on events, because you can't just print up a backstage pass. You can't just print up a press pass. Only these 20 NFTs will be able to do it. And I think they said, it looks like right here, 65 Ethereum is how much one of these NFT tickets are. And they're saying that they could go for about half of that once they've been used, once the fight's over,
Oh,
just to have one of those 20 tickets, like the secondary memorabilia sports
yeah.
market that sells old ticket stubs. Somebody wants that expired NFT ticket, and they're saying that it could probably go for 15 to 20 Ethereum after the fight's over, which
Yeah.
is cool. But you think about that, those old movie theater tickets and stuff that wear down and degrade over time. An NFT ticket, if it gets you into a Burning Man or a Coachella or a Conor McGregor or Floyd Mayweather fight, that's good forever, and it'll
Yeah.
always be, this is the first NFT ticket that Floyd Mayweather has, and he'll go down as one of the most successful boxers of all time. So who knows what that'll be worth in the future? It's pretty awesome. Plus, if you buy it originally, you get to go see the fight.
Yeah, definitely. There's some true value there, and I would imagine that he's got some residual income written into his contract for every time that sells. I bet he gets a piece along with the sellers, which a lot of them are doing. So it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds, the fight and the NFTs.
I have started to see more of that. Not just like at first, I thought they were selling NFT tickets just as kind of a trippy buzzword, so it shows up on more websites, kind of making it cool, concert tickets and stuff. But yeah, with the secondary market for those type of tickets being so hot, Floyd Mayweather would only make money the initial time. And then anybody who sold it, if it's a paper stub, then the auction house makes money, the seller makes money, then it gets sold again, the auction house makes money, the new seller makes money, and you can write it into the code that every time that changes hand, there's a little Floyd Mayweather tax. And he's like Snoop Dogg to the rap game, to the crypto game, is Floyd Mayweather to the boxing game, because he is 100% a better businessman than a boxer, and he is a good boxer. There's a reason he's worth $1 billion, and it's not because boxing is that popular. Right. It's because he knows how to get the money out, and this is just another way. So very cool. Look forward to the fight happening, I think May 14th, and look forward to the excitement that'll bring to the market and to future projects, because if it's successful, and I assume that it will be, then look for more projects to do it in the future. Know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Yeah, that's without a doubt. I'm sure they're lining up already.
I feel like we've talked about the next one already, but you can't go wrong with Elon Musk in the Web3. He's talking, this is why Dogecoin shot up this week. It has recovered a little bit, but he's obviously making big changes to Twitter. There's speculation about what's going on, but everybody knows that Dogecoin is Elon Musk's favorite crypto. It's got limited utility outside of a currency, but he loves it. He claims it's going to be the currency of Mars. So he's also talking about, making it to where you can subscribe to Twitter Blue to get your blue check mark, to get to be a verified person. One of his big quests at Twitter is to get rid of the bots and verify everybody who's doing it. So one of the things that he's really focusing on is Twitter Blue and getting anybody who's capable a check mark. And the way you do that is basically like every other NFT project. You verify somebody, you verify their wallet, their MetaMask, you know what I mean? Get them an NFT. Maybe he'll make the Twitter check mark an NFT that verifies that person, has to check through their wallet before they post or something. There's so much speculation going on, but I like to point out not just Web3 necessarily, not just the Metaverse projects, but when any crypto project makes it outside of the Web3 channels and into mainstream, and there's nothing more mainstream than the Twitter takeover right now. So Dogecoin back in the news. It's been a year. It's been sliding downhill for the last 12 months. It's back in the limelight. And if some of these plans that Elon's got go through, then expect big things from the Doge.
Yeah, very affordable investment with a lot of potential, as is Twitter. I think Twitter has one of the biggest potentials as far as companies and social media, but it's been lacking big time. So it's going to be a fun ride.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. And that's the crypto news for this week.
All right, let's jump right into Fluf World. I got a cool little trailer we're going to watch to start off. So here we go.
What is this new system where digital-only products are bought and sold?
The basic chain
First
reaction.
reason you should not make NFTs in 2022.
Most NFTs will fail.
Yes, that's right, Ben. You did see Snoop Dogg in there. He is, of course, into the project, and he likes it. So automatically, I like it also. The story, the lore behind Fluf World, they're called Fluffs. The rabbits are called Fluffs. They've got partners also on there that we're going to hit on. But they're basically, the story is a mystery, but they're a mutated group of people that either came from another planet or got involved in something that mutated them along the way. Some big event called the wreck happens, and you've got the lore. They are the story, the Fluffs. So all sorts of mystery behind it, but they live on a private island. Basically, they're just hanging out, partying, having events, and they're gaining all this excitement and intelligence from this mysterious the I'm gonna try and say it right here, mycelium.
I think that's how I've been pronouncing it. Okay. Mycelium, which
is basically just kind of looks like a fancy seaweed, but that's what's given them this mutated intelligence. And the lore, the story behind it is it's also very attractive to evil, dark forces that are lurking around outside of Fluf World. So that's kind of where the story starts off. Lots of really cool things about this project. Something that's very different, something that's very good, I think, about this project is they're building it from the NFT out. So instead of starting with the metaverse, creating a world that they want to see, they're starting with the actual NFTs and building them out. And there's a bunch of different types of NFTs that you can get involved with here. You've got the fluffs that the rabbits, these thingies, party bears. You have these seekers, scenes and sounds. And then they're also creating other types of really revolutionary technology, AI type of technology, which I think you're going to get into a little bit here. But let's see if I can get these brought up here. They are doing some stuff. This project is again, and we've said it before, this is why we are doing the channel. You start to think you have an idea of what a metaverse world is or what it's going to look like, and then you come across Fluf World, and it completely blows your mind. The deeper you get into it, they are building a metaverse or a world or NFTs that are supposed to evolve with its owners, just like a person evolves over time. These NFTs evolve, whether you have a rabbit, whether you have, so trying to get some of these characters brought up here, whether you have a rabbit, whether you have a party bear, whether you have a thingy, all these different options, which is one of the advantages of, I think, of this metaverse is there's all these different characters that you can buy into that have all these different opportunities, options, evolutions. Just basically let your brain go wild on this stuff, because it's completely, what's the word I'm looking for? It's open to your imagination. Your imagination is the only thing that's limiting you on this project.
Right. And it was only a couple of months ago that they started with the fluffs, and then the thingies, and then the party bears. I mean, so we're rolling at a very good speed here. And it seems like every couple of months they bring out a whole nother aspect to this. And it's not going backwards. Like you said, it's not the metaverse going into the small things. It's the original character and the sidekick and the party bears and the thingies and the scene. It's getting bigger and bigger as they get into the burrows in the underground. You know, the project's getting bigger, not smaller.
Yeah. And I don't know how much you're going to get into it. I think quite a bit, but you listen to the main guy behind this project, a guy named Aaron McDonald, and he is building these NFTs. He's building this metaverse to allow the owners to take back their privacy and data. Like, this isn't just a play fun world where you can do different things with these fluffs and burrows and thingies here. He is actually building a project that will evolve with time and allow people to take back their information, their privacy, a true decentralized project. And it is, which gets into the AI, but I'll leave that for you. So let's jump right into some of the burrows. You've got the opportunity in the NFTs with the fluffs, which are the rabbits, the party bears, the thingies. We've touched on some of that stuff. But one of the things that's really cool is I'm always interested in the land or similar types of land. And in this case, they have these burrows. And so you've got basically 4 types of burrows. And we're going to kind of start from the lowest one here called the den. So let's have a look.
Up on my shoulder, but I was never clean. I don't want you back. Yeah, I told you it's all over. You're just too proper and clean, yeah. How about you let it go? Why are you walking back?
So there is the den. Next up is the suite.
Well, I'm in on the den. That looked all right. That looked pretty cozy.
It only gets better from here, Ben.
All right. It's time for you to get YouTube Premium.
Yeah, you need a 70 room for a 70-inch TV in your burrow. And if you really want to step it up a notch for hosting parties and get-togethers,
The high roller. Nice.
If you ask me, they've done an exceptional job of pairing these burrows with music too. Like, it really sets the stage.
Yeah, I think that'll be a common theme with the NFTs, with the burrows, with everything on this, is they've actually brought in some great musicians and some great technically musical people to work on some of these soundscapes. And I really think that's a big part of the success of this project so far.
Yeah, it seems like a no-brainer, but then you see what they're doing, and they've made it very clear that the fluffles are all about the music and the parties. That is they're hoping you take back your information and your privacy, but we're going to do some loud partying while we're at it.
Well, I mean, haven't you seen is it the third Matrix? Second or third Matrix, when they're partying in Zion? Just because humanity's on the brink of disaster doesn't mean there isn't a party going on. So the fluffles know what's up. That's how we do it.
That's how the fluffle roll. So, and yeah, they're coming out strong. So this last little clip I'm going to show you here, they talk a little bit more about the burrows and the lands basically, and how they're in production, how they're attaching to each other, which again is one of my favorite parts. Is I like real estate in the real world. I like real estate in the virtual world, the metaverse. And so here's a little bit of an explanation. You'll recognize this influencer, MetaSync, as their YouTube channel. But this is the same guy that's into Wilder World big time, Wild Bookman. I think he still goes by that name. But he's putting out more and more good content. So let's take a look.
So phase one is, the ability for you to walk around in your burrow. Phase two is includes multiplayer, meaning that you can invite other people in, multiple fluffs in there. And that could be a meetup. It could be a social event with music. You can drop music in there. There's a whole bunch of surprises I want to talk to you about in that sense. There are two layers of burrows, the high roller and the Snoop Dogg, that have nightclubs in them. Now, the way that Unreal works with scaling and instances, you could have 100 people come to your nightclub. You could ticket them. So it could cost a micropayment of $5 to come to your party on a Saturday night. And you could hire Dylan Francis to play that party as a party dealer. And because of Unreal scaling, you could instance that 10,000 times and have 1 million people in your burrow that you have promoted, if you wanted to, if you could pull that
in theory. Could you charge people to come to your party?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's the whole point. I mean, you could charge people. Eventually, you'll be able to charge people to come to your poker game. You'll be able to play poker. They'll be able to bring their own assets into your burrow. So it might be that you've got a little poker room and people bring their own chairs, and someone brings, the Game of Thrones chair because they want to intimidate you, and people are coming in as different avatars. So we're working for these environments in Fluf World to be fully portable and integrated. I mean, you're a big Wilder fan. For a long time, we've been dancing around the fact that we're going to need to, and we'll sort this out at South by Southwest, work on interoperability between our two worlds, right?
Yeah, and I mean, we're already seeing it in some metaverses. Like, for example, Blocktopia. I don't know much about Blocktopia, but they're building a tower within Wilder World that will act as a portal into their metaverse. So that'll be super cool. So we have the burrows, and I'm living in my burrow. And so burrows come with a set amount of land packages, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
So I really appreciated this about the Fluf store. I love the Fluf lore. If you go onto the website, you can read the Fluf story, and I think it's brilliant writing. I think it sets the tone for the project. But the underground is only the first part. So how do you envision the building out of the So like the metaverse will be like above ground, because like the burrow, that's where you live and that's where you party. And then there's going to be this whole above ground world that will be kind of the main metaverse layer. And I'm assuming that's where other NFT projects will do their integrations.
Yeah. So the burrows and the great tree are kind of the central part of the lore. And obviously, when you've got this kind of space and you've got at least 10,000 of these burrows, these underground, or kind of, it's actually debatable as to whether or not they're underground. You'll see what I mean in a couple of weeks. But the above ground, let's call it the above ground for the time being, land, the more traditional metaverse land, it comes with your burrow. So if you've got a den, you've got a single package. If you've got a suite, you've got a package of 4. Brooke, don't stuff this up. If you've got a high roller, you have, is it 9?
I think it might be. I think it's 1, 4, 9, 16. If I remember correctly.
1, 4, 9, 16. 1, 4, 3 by 3, 4 by 4. And
so obviously he's talking about a lot of information right there if you weren't paying attention at all, and especially if you're new to this project. We've taken in enough information I have over the last week and longer that I'm picking up on things. But you can buy a burrow, and you might be able to tell me this. I'm not sure, Ben. I know you can buy a burrow. I don't know if you can really do anything if you don't have a fluff with it. But if you buy a burrow, depending on whether you buy a den, a suite, or high roller, you're going to get some, what, they're calling as of now, above ground also. And you get, if the better, if you buy the den, you're going to get like 1 plot of land. If you buy the high roller, it sounds like you're going to get 9 plots of land. And then from there, they're going to build out the metaverse. So very, very cool there. And I'm sure you caught that you could, hypothetically, if you could get them there, you could have 1 million plus people in your burrow at a party. You could charge them an entry fee if they were willing to pay. Say you book one of the musicians that has joined up with Fluf World. You pay the musician to come play this party. Whoever else, maybe you bring in influencers, celebrities, you get as many people as you want in your burrow, throwing an event, throwing a party. Maybe it's a poker tournament. We're getting into some really, really cool stuff with what this project is doing. And this is the part, this is why we're doing this channel. So very exciting stuff there. Obviously, a huge opportunity to possibly make some money, open to your imagination. You can come in at a price point that possibly works for you and build out from there if this is the project you want to go after.
So I'm starting to piece together in my head the way that a lot of these places are thinking about the metaverse. Facebook, remember when he said you'll start in your own little den, your own little living room, your home area where you can kind of hang your posters, pick your outfits, keep track of all your stuff before you go out into the metaverse. That's what this is like. And it sounds like they're going to be a decentralized one like Wilder World with portals to other metaverses. So the way I'm picturing it is picture Next Earth and we're buying the top of the land. It'd be like going the opposite. It'd be like if you bought the top of the land and then it came with a little hidey hole den underneath it. And the bigger piece of land you buy on top, the bigger your den, your suite, or your high roller package is below. So it'll be like your place that you can get to. You can allow people to come in. You can ticket them. I'm sure they've got some sort of a barrier of entry to get in there. Nobody's just going to come into your den, but you will be able to give it the old college party, $5 at the door because I'm having a DJ, a keg, and all this other stuff. So no one's just going to come into your den, but you'll be able to go up topside. You own the land up there. So you'll be able to build on that the way a lot of these metaverse projects are. Establish that, put a store, do whatever you want topside, a portal to another, metaverse. And then you'll have your stuff, maybe your NFT museum down in your den, hanging your pictures up, having some music, having your fluff hang out there when you're not busy. It's like starting to finally come together in my head. There's several projects, even this one that's so far out there. Like you said, for a week, I just had to stop doing it because my brain wasn't able to get my mind around everything that was possible. But even this one that's so expansive and so wide open, it's like, okay, so you're going to want your little safe space in the metaverse where you can have your stuff, where you can sit in there and not be bothered, where you can, they've got all of those had bedrooms. All of those had very private bedrooms, which, they keep talking about, you don't have to think in the traditional way. You don't have to think in the way the world's made now. So I don't know why all of them have bedrooms. Maybe we'll find.
Well, it's because a big part of this is there's a mating aspect of it too, which I didn't. Yeah. So they are rabbits. They are bunnies.
That's right. That's right.
You know what they say about them. So
you're right. I guess I was picturing sleeping in the metaverse. I was like, but what would be the point of that? You wouldn't need a bed, but it is nice to have a little private area.
Yeah. And so that's a whole aspect that I didn't even see much about that, because if you own some fluffs and you're reproducing them, obviously those, I forget what they called them, fluffities or fluffettes or something. They had a name for them. Yeah. There's going to be, I imagine those will be worth something value-wise. So, yeah, I'm guessing that's what the bedrooms are. I don't know what the visuals will be with that, but we're not going to we're going to leave it.
We won't speculate on that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And they were talking, I know you're kind of talking about the NFTs and stuff, but one of the things that I really thought was interesting was the original set of 10,000 fluffs, the bunnies. Those are first gen. Those are always going to be valuable. They're not making any more first gen, but they will be able to create these flufflings, and they will also have similar attributes, and they'll be able to do similar things. And as more people buy those, it's only going to make the originals, because the way I understand it, the originals are the only ones that will ever have the breeding aspect. So when you have two flufflings, it's not like in a year then they can mate and you can have another one. I think the originals are what you're looking for. And if you're looking at getting into this, some of this was speculation by other podcasters, but they were thinking you better go ahead and get a guy and a girl. And I think it was like 60, 65, 35. 65% of the NFTs were male and 35 were girls. But the price was about the same. There was no difference, even though females were a little bit more rare. So one of the guys was saying that he was getting as many females as he could because once they start breeding, he's gonna have a rarer factor. So
seems like a good strategy.
Yeah, there's so many different strategies. Everybody looks at it a little bit different. Most of the people in the metaverse are 18 to 40-year-old guys, that are experiencing this kind of stuff. That's just the way that's just factual, because it's mostly games. This is tailored to young men, with spare time on their hands. So most of them are picking an NFT that is a male that they relate with. And this other guy said,
middle-aged men buying a bunch of fluffy bunnies. Yeah, nothing creepy there.
Yeah. They said, did some market research, and they said, what do 35-year-old men want to spend $1,000 on? And they said, how about a digital female rabbit? They said, yes, that's it. Write it up, code it.
That's all I've got on my side, Ben. And we're jumping right into some of your aspects here already. But I jumped on OpenSea, just wanted to show some of these that are available. Party Bears, obviously a lot cheaper than the Fluffs, although the Fluffs have dropped below a 3 ETH floor price. So that's very interesting too, just barely below. But
yeah, but that's crazy because what was it originally? 0.09? I mean, it was a tenth of a ETH when they started, and they sold out immediately. So dropping below a 3 ETH price, that's still $6,500, $7,500. They're still very popular, especially for limited capabilities and a lot of yet to be seen attributes of their metaverse.
Oh yeah, this is one that they're, we do these metaverses, and it's like, hey, stay tuned, a lot coming down the pipe. This one is like, I don't even know how to express it. Get ready. This is just the beginning for this world here.
Yep. Short-term play might be grabbing an NFT, but it seems like if you can get anything from this game, it's not a slow burn like Star Atlas. They're not saying come back in 3 years when we have the game ready. This is going to be growing the entire time. So anytime's a good time to dip your toes in investment-wise and grab a Fluff or grab a Party Bear or grab whatever your financial situation allows. You've got options to do it. But they're not expecting to reach full potential anytime soon. And they just keep hinting towards stuff like he had mentioned in that little interview. You'll see that later. Oh, you'll see this coming up. You can't really talk about it right now, but soon you'll see what's coming down the pipeline. You know what I mean? So this is a good project to get a hold of. But unfortunately, like as far as the stuff that I'm looking at, I'm limited on the amount of NFTs that I'm capable of acquiring right now. So I usually like to grab some coins, just $100, $200 worth of cheap coins, save on the Ethereum gas, just get involved in the project. So we might have to find one of the cheaper NFTs, because I like to get a hold of every project that we're doing just so I can kind of keep checking in on it. You know how I feel about the gameplay in games like this. So the first thing I checked was, are there any racing games coming to Fluf World? And by goodness, there is. So let's just take a look at Burn Down.
I like the name.
If you can't hear it, I'll fix it post-production, but this is the above ground.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of this. I just saw one of the eggs floating there at the start of it.
Good looking graphics.
This is ridiculous, man.
Coming soon.
That is impressive.
Yes, isn't it? I obviously was being a little facetious when I said I was looking for a racing game, but this popped up and said, I was looking up different games that were in there and different stuff that was coming, and they've got a couple of different projects, but they're like, oh, Burn It Down is going to be sweet because you'll be able to race your Fluff You'll be able to bring in NFT characters from any metaverse. And if you've got a Fluff, you can race them. And you probably noticed a couple of different things in that trailer. I know that's the cinematic or the theatrical style trailer. So there's a lot of stuff that may not transfer over to actual gameplay, but there was actual advertisements on the billboards and the walls of the buildings. You could change your car. You could change your outfit. They had the music. They were both carrying thingies with them, little sidekicks. There's just going to be no telling what all the extra NFTs, like a thingy, like what your sidekick is going to be able to do for you. These NFTs, the Fluf World NFTs, one of the things that's setting the whole project apart is they're in a deal to be the first NFT project, the first set of 10,000 to get fitted with the altered state machine. And this right here, I was told, is the new buzzword that you're going to be hearing quite a bit. Non-fungible intelligence. And this is basically the AI that computer games and video games and massively large corporations use for like finding out customers and what the chance you could, how to get you to buy more stuff. And the same type of AIs that did all the computer that played Jeopardy, that beat all the Jeopardy champions, the ones where it just takes the information that it's given and actually generates thought and competes like a human. They're going to put these, and you're going to be capable of adding this to your Fluff, which is the rabbit. So you'll actually have a smart learning non-fungible token. So that's the non-fungible intelligence, is basically AI slapped into, it's going to be able to go to, I believe you're going to be able to stack it onto most NFTs, if not all NFTs, but they're getting in right away with Fluf World. So these psychotic demon bunnies that are coming in Fluf World are going to be the first ones that are going to be let loose into the world of AI. And we won't go, I'm going to keep this episode under 4.5 hours. So I won't go into all the stuff that Ryan and I have been talking this week, but they said, this is where it kind of, when I saw the bed and I thought, you don't sleep in the metaverse. You don't. Well, now, not only do you not sleep, but when you log off, when your human body logs off to go to bed, you can send your Fluff out into the world to not only do your bidding, but to learn. You can set him up like a roving shopkeeper. You can send your rabbit to somebody else's burrow to pay the $5 entry fee to get into the burrow, to the party, and go around selling your merchandise. He can basically be your hot, hey, you want some carrots? You want some of these other NFTs? Or, hey, I like that poster. I'll buy it for, I know for a fact, Ben, my owner, who's at home sleeping, has been looking for that, and he's willing to pay up to 2 Ethereum. He'll buy that poster on the wall. I could wake up tomorrow morning and my Fluff could say, by the way, I finally found the Solon NFT that you've been looking for the price you've been looking for. Just thought I'd let you know. Also, I memorized every book in your library. So if you ever want to talk, if you ever want to have a little personal book club with your NFT, he can converse with you and actually have intelligent conversations with your avatar.
Side note, I also now know Kung Fu. I'm a Kung Fu master.
Exactly. That's what it feels like.
In the metaverse.
It's Matrix. So picture how fast you can learn something if you stayed up all night for 8 hours doing nothing but studying, fully caffeinated, ready to go. Now, give it the power of every technology in the world, and you don't have to remember anything because it's programmed into you, and then give that computer program that can learn, that can read an entire book in a finger snap. Give it 8 hours while you're sleeping and see what it learned overnight. It can get out in the world. They can go through your entire music collection. And when you wake up, you can say, hey, play me a song. Take all the songs that I like. You know which ones I listen to the most. play me a song, write me a new song. And this AI can write you a song based on what it thinks that you like. And you can actually say, no, that's too fast. I like slower songs. And it goes, okay, well, you listen to a lot of fast music, but I'm going to slow this down. It actually learns from what you want to do. And so you're talking about these bunnies, the way that they've done it, and I know Ryan mentioned it, they're building from the inside out. So they've made the NFT capable of growing into any environment. They've made them capable of not only learning, but being programmed to where no matter what happens with, say, Metaverse, say Facebook or Meta does take over everything and decides, well, now we've got this little script that runs through and it tells us everything that your NFT avatar has bought lately. These are capable of going, that's unacceptable, and reprogramming and blocking all that information out. Like they've made an empty shell, they're putting in a super brain, and now they're giving it a place to play just as its first step. You're going to be able to take these in and out of wallets, in and out of metaverses, in and out of other projects. You'll be able to take your fluff to Wilder World and then go from Wilder World to Blocktopia, go up, check out a movie on the 21st floor, come back down, jump over to, another metaverse, race cars. The possibilities are endless. And like Ryan and I, what night was it? Monday night? After 2 hours, we were like, we have to stop talking about it because it was getting scary, because you could say, learn the weaknesses of my enemies and report back. And it would do it. I mean, it's capable of learning so much for a game. We're past the game scenario here. This is an experience, but imagine what a creative person can do when you have the power of a billion-dollar corporation worth of artificial intelligence at your fingertips for 2 Ethereum. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you mentioned it, but just to hit on it again, these are available for purchase. You don't have to own a Fluff or anything else. You can buy these ASM brains on OpenSea, possibly other exchanges. They were just under 2 ETH from what I could see, but revolutionary technology. And folks, you heard it first here on the MetaMentors.
Yeah,
ASM, non-fungible intelligence. It's coming.
It's coming. And it's a little side project. It's not in Fluf World. They're trying to get it. They're not trying to. It will happen where you'll be able to play your fluffs. But this altered state machine, right now they have a little league, a little soccer league, where they put the brain into these little players, and they're just trying to figure stuff out. So you've got an empty vessel, and you can teach it to play soccer. You can teach it plays, all right, if I go this way, you go this way, and go around here and pass. And the goal is to kick it in this deal, and don't kick it right at another person on the other team. I mean, it's a whole thing where you can train your artificial intelligence brain, stick it in these soccer players. They have a whole league going, and I've come across several different companies and groups, all the little partners that all these projects are partnering with, all the small animation studios, all the music guys, Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park, all these guys were talking about building and acquiring these teams and teaching them how to play soccer. I mean, so this is, we think that the Super Bowl, what will ever be bigger than the Super Bowl? Well, I'll tell you what will be bigger than the Super Bowl is, once a year when they get all of the most popular people in the world to bring their artificial intelligence sports team out, and you get to see all of the creative things. I mean, because, could you teach them to fly? Could you teach them to run upside down in the wall like this? Can you teach them to dig under how far can this go? I think it's only limited by your imagination with the simple task of kicking the ball into the goal. You know what I mean? So